Creative Lab, financed by the European Union and co-financed by the government of Montenegro, was established according to the business model and collaborative working space composed of space to support the development of startups, co-working space and makerspace. It is intended for representatives of cultural and creative industries, product development and connecting the community and researchers with traditional businesses. It has a set of equipment for modeling, printing and visualization of products. At this place you can come, work in space, develop prototypes, get support and connect with clients. And what is very important, to be part of the community and a supportive environment to gain new information and knowledge. And if they want to gather, Creative Lab members must fly to the Upbeat Event and Training Center at the Čubranović House, which is listed as the oldest house in Podgorica. Upbeat Event and Training Center is situated in a house Čubranović, which is listed a cultural monument as the oldest house in Podgorica. The space is intended for all types of meetings, meetups, presentations, but also space for co-workers and digital nomads who want to work in Montenegro a certain period of time. It has complete equipment and technical support for organizing hybrid and offline events. Today we use the space for an online meetup dedicated to the topic how the co-living and co-working industry can be beneficial to digital transformation of the Western Balkan region.
Hello, everybody. My name is Igor Milošević, and I'm director of Abit Hub. And welcome in our event and training center in the oldest house in Podgorica. So it's my pleasure to have a couple of guests on the meetup that we call how the co-living and co-working industry can be benefit to digital transformation of the region of Western Balkan. My guest is Miroslav Mijatov. They are coming from Vienna, co-working and co-living conference Southeast Europe. Then Ilija Kaluđerović, Nest co-working space from Podgorica. Tamara Kojić, she is community and experience consultant, and Kate, help me in the pronunciation when you say hello to our visitors. Maolini, is it Italian?
You've done well.
Great.
Yeah.
Super. Okay. So as you see, we will go through that title of this event. We will discuss a little bit about that industry and what to do in the next period, since most of the Western Balkan country, including Montenegro, working on the different strategic paper of program paper. I'm also in the position as a member of the working group who are working on the one program policy paper. They are organized by our ministry, responsible ministry. So actually for us, but probably for most of you, are curious to know a little bit more about some challenges, about how to go in, what is the best direction to do that. So at the beginning, I will first, ask the question to our participants, but also ask politely to say a few words about what's standing behind title of behind your name in this event. So actually, maybe Miroslav, you're someone who won't start this discussion about co-working and co-living concept. Several years ago, you organized one of the very huge event in the Belgrade. It's your trademark, and maybe it's better to start immediately with a direct question about what is the challenges in development of any destination for the digital nomads, and maybe explain a little bit what kind of digital nomads we could expect maybe in the next period. Is it just freelancers or somebody else? So, floor, it's yours.
Thank you, Igor. First of all, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this this conference, this summit. Like you said, few years ago, I tried to gather all the co-working spaces and co-living spaces all around the Balkan and worldwide to join and to share experience about what to expect, what's going on in co-working and co-living industry. And yes, it's an industry now. A few years ago, it wasn't. It was just a concept. It was a movement. And now, since the corona hit so hard, it became an industry very, very quick. And I think it will develop in that way to become more and more interested than one content than it was before 5, 6 or more years ago. Regarding your question about digital nomads, so I have a few concerns about that, because now when we are talking about digital nomads, it's very hype topic and everybody talks about it. And it's like for Western Balkan countries, it's like our membership to European Union. Everyone wants that from the Western Balkans, but we are maybe just not ready to be a member of that community. So it's like it's the same with the digital nomads. It's very hype and everybody talks about it, but we are not sure that we have all the necessary logistic to host all the digital nomads who are maybe willing to come to this part of the world. At the moment, there are 32 countries that already have digital nomad visas, and 90% of those countries already have touristic background. So for them, it was easy. And most of them have a beautiful seaside. And so people are more willing to go somewhere where there is always sun. And regarding our region, people still have a little bit of doubts, a little bit of things that they don't know about this region. So, and they don't recognize Serbia, Bosnia, Montenegro, or all the other countries as something that this is a hotspot for attracting digital nomads. So, regarding that being said, I think that we need to think if we did enough in promoting a digital nomad and co-working and co-living concept at all to the local communities. And then when we are sure that we have all that covered, then we should address to digital nomad platform to attract them to this region. There are so many issues right now, even though digital nomad visa is something that is going on for quite some time now. There are so many things that are making troubles for digital nomads. For example, insurance, all the healthcare that they need when they go somewhere, then taxation. We are seeing that no one is willing to say, okay, we don't need to take that tax from digital nomads. So either that's going to be the local country where they are, or the countries where they are residents for before they come before they went to some other country. So those are all the issues that we need to face before we do any kind of strategy or bigger campaign to the audience that might be willing to come to this region. We just know that we have a huge potential with the mountain resorts, with the seaside, with the Adriatic seaside, which is beautiful, and those are the facts. But still, for example, three holy things for co-working and co-living is if you have a good location, if you have a good coffee, and if you have a good internet. So I know many spaces that I've been to that they don't have good internet. And not because they don't want to have good internet, because the infrastructure of the city, of the local municipality, is not doing their part of the work, because they didn't provide all the circumstances for the telco operators to give and to provide with a better internet. So in that sense, we need to see what are our advantages and of course what are our challenges and disadvantages. And so as soon as we overcome them, then it will be easier for us to make a good strategy and to make a good approach and visibility of ourselves for all the digital nomads who are willing to come to our region.
Yeah, definitely through that work, there is a lot of open question, and it's a good
and sorry,
point.
one more thing I wanted to point it out. So
Please.
it's since now when we are talking about digital nomads, not just the freelancers. During the Corona, all the big companies are trying to do that pivot and to provide for their workers to go work remotely. And working remotely doesn't mean that you work from home, because all the statistics and numbers say that people don't like to work, in majority, they don't like to work from home. They just need that possibility to work from the coffee shop, to work from the beach, to work from the co-working or co-living space. So, and most of them are now, people are now considering if there is a child care, because they want to bring their families to some cities, to the seaside. I have friends who went to Greece for 2 months, and their company allowed them that. There were some issues who will cover the health insurance if something, God forbid, happens, but still they're working on it. So there are so many options right now, and we are talking about the hybrid solutions, and definitely we need all kind of hybrid solutions for remote workers. I wouldn't say just digital nomads, but remote workers. And we need to listen what are the needs of all the people who are willing to travel all around the world. And
so you think that we need also some kind of very to be sensitive related to research, to address to whom, and etc. etc.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. Kate, probably you're coming from the trademark, company network, and probably with a lot of experience related co-working, co-living, and who can largest benefit from those industry? We always have some like to look at on that industry like potential for tourism, someone for ICT industry and growing the local market, somebody for investors. So local people, what do you think? What kind of impact those industry has according experience? Miroslav said 32 countries have open program.
Yeah, sure. So sadly, I haven't been in 32 countries yet, but I will, hopefully. I think, Misha, you've raised a lot of very valid points. One of the things that you said that I think is so important and very much underrated often is just really listening. So listening in what digital nomad or remote worker, and I appreciate also the fact that you made that difference, because it is quite strong actually. What do they need when they move, when they decide to move? Because they decide to really change their life and to move somewhere else. So they need a lot of infrastructure, because the majority of them are used to a certain type of infrastructure. And that means that they need to bring a lot of what they need to bring. They would like to bring with themselves, or to find where they go, innovation anyway, technology, facilities, services that they are quite used to have. I spent 6 weeks this summer in Bansko, which I know is not part of the Balkans-ish, but I've seen what the team of co-working Bansko there, for example, have done for the place, how they changed it totally. And I'm not talking just about maybe the co-working spaces themselves that they open, but I'm really talking about the whole dynamics of this town that used to be just a ski resort. So exactly as you were saying, Misha, maybe with already some infrastructure that they were ready, because there was quite a bit of tourism coming in. But the way they changed it, the amount of people, amount of digital nomad and remote workers, they come and they spend time in there, summer and winter, although there is no seaside. Even this summer when there was the Digital Nomad Festival, well, actually the Nomad Festival, not Digital Nomad, there were more than 350 people. And then after that, people came and go. I really think that the strong impact and what really makes a difference is the community, is how whoever is there builds the community. Nomads and digital nomads move around. They have no problems in moving around as long as they can find some sort of community that really is similar to them, if that makes sense. But it's similar to them because then it's easier to communicate and to express your needs because you're used to anything. What you were saying, Misha, for example, is very important. The first thing that I would look if I go into a place is, okay, where can I get really good Wi-Fi and coffee? Exactly those two things. Absolutely. And so creating a community that lets you really link straight away everybody as soon as they arrive, and also highlights the benefits of being somewhere. So not just about the visa, but also the easiness of getting different type of services, which could be, if you decide to stay longer, access to maybe a local bank account, how easy it is to maybe see a doctor. Yeah, it's sometimes very underrated. To rent a car, is it possible to do it with the type of driving license that I have? Can I do anything else? Is the public transport easy to use? Is the place really well served? There are so many factors that we need to see, but what I really think, this movement, which, as you were saying, has been emphasized by the pandemic and by the fact that many companies understood that a lot of people working really wants to work from anywhere. They don't want to be linked anymore in one place. There will be a lot of co-living and co-working spaces catering to communities, and with a lot of really good and innovative service coming up in every region.
So you think that it's very important to follow what's going on in the global market and try to copy and incorporate on the local context?
Yeah, I think incorporate it, because I really think that I like to move around. Like, I wouldn't want to come to Belgrade, for example, and to stay in a co-living and co-working space, which is exactly the same that I can find maybe in London or in Spain or in Portugal or in Greece. I'd like to find the same facilities. So I'd like to have good internet, good community, good coffee, and all of that sort of thing, for sure. But I really would like to feel like I am in this place. Like, I really want to feel that I am in Serbia if I am there. I want to feel that I am in Spain if I am there. I want to feel that I am in another country if I am there. If everything looks the same, no. But what I think every region can learn is, how did one place develop more around the digital nomad, or anyway, the movement that is created now of remote workers as well, and how did they attract this target?
Yeah, just tell me
the
maybe.
Majority of
No, sorry for interruption, but it's maybe just how maybe, I don't know, local community or local, that ICT industry can take advantages of the visiting some people who have a lot of knowledge or a lot of experience, different knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about, so there are very different type of remote workers and nomads. So you have the fast and the slow one. The fast ones are the ones that stay in a place maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and then they move and they keep on moving. And then you've got the low one, which are seasonal and sometimes even longer. And the majority of slow traveler, if we want to call it in this way, they also like to get involved in the community, and they're always very willing to kind of like contribute, if that makes sense, to anything. It could be like, they might get, I don't know, some volunteering spot, or they might spend some time in local association or anything that has got to do with the community. And it's really easy to communicate and to start to say, when I was in this country, that's how they used to do. I used to do this sort of way, and we were doing it in that sort of way. And I think bringing that sort of like global expertise and vision of the world in a different place, it's very important, as long as the local community is happy to listen and to, be receptive. I can see Misha going like, yes, as in, that's exactly the problem. Because I can imagine, I'm Italian, so I'm going to speak for Italy. I'm not going to speak for any other country because I haven't lived there. But I can imagine if something like that would happen in certain areas of Italy, maybe not all of that. I'm sure some of the local community will be not very adamant to maybe be willing to change as much, and they will be very strong in saying, well, no, that's not how we do it here. So now, while instead I think, if we want to become a bit more open globally, we need to be everywhere and in every country a bit more flexible in that.
Yeah. Ilya, you almost more than 2 years here in this market, open your co-working space, understood whole the concept. What do you think it's can be indicator of, that this region, Montenegro, but also other country becoming a hub or let's say a recognized spot for digital nomads? What we need.
Hi to everyone. I'm Ilya. I'm coming from Nest Co-working. Like you said, it's almost 2 years ago that we founded co-working space, and I think that it was something new in Montenegro, and people was asking what is there, what is co-working, what is co-living, and is it possible to make it in Montenegro and Podgorica, and we need to believe in that, and we need more people to believe in that, and to believe people that want to work remotely, they don't want to work from home, or they don't want to work from their country or their home. The people, we need to talk to people, tell them and show them that we have a lot of people, they want to come in to travel, like Kate said, to be maybe fast traveler or slow traveler, but they want to work outside of their countries. So I'm new one in this industry, Misha, and I'm. What can I see from these 2 years? If we don't look 1 year of COVID last year, but from this year we have a good indicators, and from years before the 2020, we see that a lot of people coming to Montenegro. A lot of people love to come to Montenegro, and a lot of people calling their friends to come to Montenegro because they come, they like, they enjoy, they have a nice time, nice lifestyle, and I think that Western Balkan countries have a great potential for that, because we have seaside, we have mountains like Bansko, but we have a really nice nature. We are good connected. Can be better with the roads, but we are good connected. We are good connected with the flights. So we have in that way we have a good opportunity to make something good in that way, to be nice, to be a good place for them. And I hope so that we, in next period like this one, we will have more conferences, we have more talks, more meetups, and talk about that, and bring people, make some events like was in Bansko, so some summit for digital nomads, to show them how is in Serbia or Montenegro or Bosnia or all around here Balkan, and with that we can make a good things for that for the digital nomads. What is important? What can I say from my angle? Just today we say goodbye to 2 guys. They came from United States. That guys bring one guy. He's now in our co-working space. He came 3 or 4 months ago from United States. He's from Serbia, and his wife is from Montenegro, and with that he brings the people, that 2 guys from United States, to work here and to show them Montenegro and Serbia. And what they say when they was going, they said that next year they will come to work from this region about 3 to 5 months. So they loved, and that is good indicators that we have a good infrastructure for digital nomads. We have a good Wi-Fi connection. depend of the place and the town, but that is not something that can be made in 2-3 months if we have a will to make that. We have a good nature, we have a good lifestyle, so that is what they like and what they need. So,
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think
yeah, I agree. I understood your point, and but probably just to give the floor to Tamara, there is a lot of destination. What could be unique selling point not only for Montenegro but for the whole region? What is the whole the marketing around that we produce is always around some nature or something like that, but maybe for a specific niche in the tourism, but also a specific niche to attract people to come to invest in something like that, we need something more.
Yes, well, the way I see it, I've been working in the co-working and co-living industry for the past 6 years, and in the past year to maybe 3, we've been speaking about digital nomads so much. And I agree with what Misha said in the beginning, that it is a very popular word, but I also think that Kate mentioned that we don't really know how we define digital nomads, and I believe that different people define the term differently. So if we are speaking about people who are remote workers and maybe not on the road constantly, we are talking about a huge market. And the way I see it at this moment, we are not talking about entering the market. We just heard from Ilya as well some indicators that this has already happened. We are speaking more about positioning ourselves on the market. And now, one thing that is specific to Montenegro, maybe even more than the other countries in the region, is that there is a lot of experience with working with foreign nationals. They might be tourists and there might be people staying for a week or 2. However, the local community is acquainted with seeing foreign people, communicating in English with them, and being accommodating to the needs of people from all over the world, which I think is a huge and important thing to note, and is also something that could provide a sense of community, at least in the beginning, before we know that there is an international community that is staying in a certain place. You would agree that it would be super difficult to maintain this if people locally were not accustomed to having foreigners around. So I think this is a really big point. Of course, it has already been mentioned several times. The proximity of the seaside, the mountains, the wild beauty, and the nature is very important. Of course, we have just witnessed how important it is for people to be, during the pandemic and the lockdown, how many people left cities and decided to go somewhere where they could use exactly this, which Montenegro has to offer. So I think one thing that has not been mentioned yet is, and I think this is super important as well, is the fact that Montenegro is not in the Schengen zone. And there's a lot of people holding passports that allow them to stay in the Schengen zone for only 3 months in every 6-month window. So with this in mind, if someone is staying in the Schengen zone and wants to stay nearby, they can come to Montenegro, to Serbia, to Bosnia and Herzegovina, and stay in the meantime, be here, and then return without having to fly out to another continent. So I think this is also something that we should embrace. In a lot of economic talks, not being a part of that zone is regarded as a disadvantage, but in this case, I think it is an advantage that we need to also address at a certain level. So a lot of the participants already spoke about the level of comfort and the affordability and all of the nature and the wild beauty. And I think one most important thing that I would just like to point out is something that Kate already mentioned, and it's authenticity. There is so many digital nomad destinations right now that are super popular. They are popular because they were authentic. And when you go to Bali, you know that you're going to get the Balinese experience. No one is going to Bali for the Mexican experience, just like no one is going to Mexico to get the Balinese experience. So I think this also takes a lot of self-reflection, and also for us to build on the local values, to know what we do have to offer. And in my very subjective opinion, you know, the hospitality that people in our region are used to, the warmth of the people, the way people connect with the, you know, the long dinners that take 4 hours, and neighborhoods that are coming together. And, you know, maybe it's even annoying for some local people, but everyone knows what the other people are doing. That is also a sense of community that, you know, we cannot magically provide digital nomads with a rich digital nomad community. But what we can do is use the existing communities to make them feel at home. So if I had to just say one thing, that would be authenticity, and knowing what we can offer and making that not our unique selling proposition, but, you know, building on that and knowing what values we want to share with people who come and stay, be it for 3 weeks, 3 months, or maybe even longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Maybe you can also answer me on but it's also open floor for every participants to in a few sentences say, is it possible to, because we have common, I don't know, mentality or a lot of similarity, a lot of areas speaking the same language. Doesn't matter how we call our or name it our language, but you know, can we have joint approach toward on the market? Or you think it's better that we build separately some and emphasize some specificity?
The way I see it, there are a lot of commonalities, sure, of course. However, the fact that we speak the same language or a similar language can help only us. And it's not something that is important for the digital nomads or remote workers who are coming. So in a way, I do believe that we can learn and share and exchange experiences. However, when we speak about authenticity, you know, we all know how different the offer is in different countries. So I think, you know, there is something special about certain parts of each country, you know, and even if you looked at Montenegro, the north and the south also are pretty different. So I wouldn't insist on making a regional offer in which we know that this is what we can offer. Of course, we can work and communicate together and bring the region onto the map. But I do think that it's important to find the distinction between each town, region, part of a country, and then have people choose what excites them the most. And I would just like to say, at this moment, we don't know the consequences that the pandemic will have on travel long term. We can see it recovering, but we do know that the consequences in the way we work are already here. So there will be a lot of people traveling. There is enough digital nomads to come and visit all of the countries.
Okay, somebody to add something or to confront or say something different, please.
May I? I'm just looking one sticker. I forgot on that one in sticker that from the people that was in our co-working space, and it's written, "Dream big, travel far." So that one couple of digital nomads, they traveling to the Balkan, and what information what we got from them is that I think it's good for Balkan, that people love on Balkan. It's that wild beauty, and that they can see 2 or 3 countries in 1-2 months, and it's connected with 2, 3, 5 hours of driving, so they can see a lot of differences from the country to the country, and they can feel that the Tamara said hospitality of our people, and they can enjoy that hospitality because they don't used to feel that a lot in the countries. So that is what we can offer, and I think it's better to talk together about everything and make some bigger steps on for promotion, but to do it by ourselves for each country promotion. And if we bring the digital nomads in Montenegro, they will also go to Serbia. They will also go to the countries all around us. So I think it's just important to bring it in one country, and when they see,
then send it somewhere else.
yeah, but when they see it's close, from Belgrade to come to Budva, they'll drive car 5, 6, 7 hours and come to Budva, and that is the what is good for the region, when the highway starts
Start to functioning.
5, 6 hours.
Okay.
So that is a good opportunity for us, and if someone bring even Croatia, they're far away from us in that in the digital nomads industry. So if they bring the people, I know that because we have a lot of digital nomads in our co-working space that came from Croatia, because they want to see seaside, they came to see capital of Montenegro, and they come to work here. So that's also a big impact for us that Croatia is a few steps
in front of us.
In front of us, yes.
Okay, Kate, you also want to add something? I mentioned.
So I think there is a strong movement within this movement, which is starting to take place even further. And someone wrote an article, I think is All Work, if I'm not wrong. I will find it and then I'll share it. And they started to call this movement Lomads. Yeah, so are more people that move, but they move locally. So I think this is something that we also shouldn't really discard very much, because there are people that instead of, if Montenegro in certain area will be able to offer certain thing that people might want to move somewhere else to look for, why would they do it? The majority of them will move maybe within the country, but still stay there, and they will become further ambassadors, if you let me use this terminology, for the country themselves, by saying, hi, my country is awesome because look, in this place we also have this, and we also have this, and we have an international community. So instead of letting the locals go away, it's more like bringing more of the outside in there as well, so that then the local will decide to just move in within the local region or country. And that is something that I think we will see more and more in the future. I don't know what you agree. Misha is raising his hands. I hope he agrees with me.
Yeah, okay. Misha, go ahead.
I totally agree with all that you said. So there are so many things that we didn't cover. For example, one of my favorite topic is digital nomads, but generation boomers. So because there are so many people over 60 who don't, so most of them are not working anymore, and they need to cut costs of their living. For example, if they are in Switzerland or if they are in UK and they like to travel, and there are so many of them. So that's one of the topics that definitely we should cover in the future, especially if we want something to present as a region for people where they can come and visit, and the cost of living are much more lower than in Switzerland, for example. So there are so many things that we didn't manage to cover in this talk, but like Tamara said, everything has to have that specific thing that need to focus. For example, every city, every co-working space, every co-living space, every region should have something very specific, and to show that to the world. So in my personal opinion, in every crisis like this pandemic, there is a window of opportunity. For Balkans, this window is still not wide open, because we really need to focus on handling all the things that we need to make ideal logistic for remote workers. So when we finish that, then that window will open very wide, and that's our chance. And I really think that, like Ilya said, if they go to Montenegro, they will for sure come to Serbia, or if they come to Serbia, they will for sure go for rafting in Bosnia. So it's very connected because we are pretty much the same. The hospitality, the level of hospitality that we have in this region is that something that gives us that we are unique, and people like that. That's why people all around the world are coming and exploring Balkan, because they didn't expect that, and when they come, they talk to their friends from United States, from UK, and say how interesting, how exotic Balkan is. So I think that we have that small exotic flavor, not like Bali, but we for sure have something that will attract so many people, remote workers and people from big companies. Like Google is doing, they already set up the program for their workers, so they can choose. They have a small platform where they can choose work from office, work from home, or work for something else, hybrid space. So if they are doing that, so why should they do that if they don't know something that we don't? So I think the potential is huge. It's now up to us to see how will we manage that, and how will we use all that user experience that we try together and to share with each other. The user experience is very, very important, that we gather, and that all the data, all the needs that people have with while they're traveling. And after that, we need to go step by step. And after that, I think that this region will be very, very popular, not maybe as Bali, but close enough.
Okay. And maybe because the topic of this meetup is digital transformation. Give us few thoughts about what is, how, in which way a digital nomad can contribute in that digital transformation, because Montenegro at the moment, it's also a huge topic, and how they interfere or contribute in the, I don't know, even through education of some staff, or community here, or knowledge sharing, meetups, direct engagement in the some maybe project. Or what is your experience, or what you think about that topic? Just a few sentences for the end of this session. Who wants to start?
I can start.
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly. I'll give a quick thing. So just wanted to highlight one thing that you said, Misha, when you talked about how Google and other companies are opening up to different type of working. I don't know if anyone remembers that many, many years ago, they were the first one to start to have this type of co-working, collaborative type of office, very flexible, dressed down, and all of the, and everybody thought they were crazy, but they were the one to end up, getting the best talent and the best talent acquisition. And that for me was very innovative. So I would also keep a really close eye, a close look actually on what they're doing, and most likely they will set like a big trend. With regard to bringing digitalization and innovation, as I was saying before, when the nomads, they could be the boomer, the remote worker, the younger one, it doesn't really matter. When they travel, they really are used to live in a certain way, so they will want to have it. And if they don't find it in a place more often, they would be quite happy to set it up themselves. I see a lot of nomads moving around and thinking that they want to go into a country to stay only 3 or 4 months. And then they see huge opportunities and they start to look into maybe settling there a little bit longer, getting a residency, opening up something, teaching, developing, helping the local community as well to step up. If you let me use this terminology, it's not really nice, but I guess it makes you understand, and to really take a look of what is happening globally and how that can be done actually locally. So bring more of the global to local. That would be my conclusion.
Thank you. Some other to share recommendation or to answer on that, to contribute to this answer, Kate answer.
Okay. Tamara, okay.
Thank you, Leah. Well, I'll be quick as well. I think what Kate just said is very important. I think we can also regard the digital nomad movement as a part of the bigger umbrella of digital transformation. It all goes hand in hand. And I think that, you know, it's an exciting time. And I think we should be looking at this transformation exactly as a positive change. And digital nomads can only help us speed that process up, learn more, and also learn how to adapt to the needs of the market. So I see it as a part of the same process, and maybe even as the same progress.
Okay, thank you.
Tamara, you said what I was planning to say, but it's okay. What is important, just to see, to think about it, where it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and where we are now. So we are moving and we are growing and we are making some steps. I don't think that is a big steps, but small steps. And I think with digital nomads, and if we're looking what they need and we want to make for them some good environment, I think that will make a bigger steps. So if you think we had Wi-Fi speed internet, I don't know, 2 years ago it's 30, I think the highest. Now it's 400 or 500. So it's big step for them. Also for the education, also for the people, for young people that they want to be educated, I don't know, ICT technologies, because they see that a lot of people coming and they're making money, working remotely. They can go anywhere and work. You know, that is something that if the digital nomads coming and the people that are working here, people see that and feel that, and they trying to make themselves better, and they try to learn something and maybe connecting with them and work with them, and you know, that is hand in hand, like Tamara said, and making a better all environment.
Thank you.
Definitely, Google will have the last laugh. That's for sure. And regarding this transformation, I think we all have to do a lot of our analog transformation, which we still didn't finish. So especially in this region, and every contribution when it comes to individuals who are traveling, if they feel comfortable, if they feel that they are at home, wherever they go, they will try to make a bigger impact. They will share their knowledge. They will try to gather some groups. They will employ 2 or 3 people who are locals. So everything starts with a small local thing called hospitality. So if we provide that to all the people who are coming, that definitely eventually that digital transformation will spread, and everyone will have a benefit from it.
Okay. If somebody have something to add for the end, or you think that we say a lot of things. Okay.
I have just one question for Kate, because she has so many insights about the co-living movement. So I really think that if she's willing to just give us a few sentences and few bullets, what's going on in this, well, I cannot say post-COVID, but post-COVID era, what's going on, because what I've been hearing and all the instances that are coming towards me are saying that co-living spaces will bloom in the next period, and there will be so many co-living spaces open in the next period, especially in rural areas. So since you are an expert in that, I would just need from your side a few insights, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Co-living is a pretty new industry, as you were saying before. So I'm happy that now we can consider co-living an industry. We don't really have a lot of precedent, numbers that we can use for projection, or something that we can say, okay, this is happening in the past 5 years, so we expect this in the past 5 years, in the next 5 years because of that. But what we can see is that exactly what it was discussing here before, and especially Tamara highlighted often, is that a lot of people have decided to shift from cities to maybe town, not necessarily small rural places, but maybe smaller town. And again, what I was mentioning before is the need of community. So we're happy to travel around, we're happy to move around. I don't want to spend all my time on my own. And to be in a new place and finding friends and finding people that are similar to you and understanding what happened in a place, it takes a long time. I would say 6 to 8 months to really kind of like feel part of that. Whilst finding a community directly and immediately, it really shortens that time, I want to say, to maximum 1 month. And within 1 month, you can feel really settled in a place. So for the slow traveler, or for people that actually decide to stay and live in a place, that's fantastic. And this is where co-living come in. So co-living, for people that maybe don't really know, is a community living. It's normally a building where people share either larger rooms or self-containing flats or bedsits. And then there is a lot of focus on the communal spaces where a lot of things happen together. And normally there is a community facilitator that also push for events to happen, and then also facilitate other members, perhaps, which are the residents, to actually organize more events, exactly what you were saying, Igor, skill sharing, let's cook together. I'm Italian, I'll teach you how my mama prepares lasagna, anything really that makes people bonding, right? I can teach you something, you can teach me something in everything. And what we have seen, unfortunately, is that in the past few months, a couple of the biggest players in the co-living, that they've really pushed a lot and leveraged a lot with regard to real estate, especially in big cities, have been really struggling. Some of them have gone into administration. Some of them had to be incorporated by other bigger company. But what we really see is that the smaller operators that really cares about, again, what Tamara and I were saying, keeping it local, keeping it real, keeping it, with regard to what country you're in and what people you're in, and incentivizing the community, and also really widening the community. So not just within the building, but within the outside as well, are the ones that are having a lot of success in cities, but also outside of cities, and that are really growing very quick because people just want to go there. And then once they're happy in one co-living, what is the thing that you ask the most is, do you have something similar in another city, in another country? And then they're starting to collaborate again. So we are seeing a lot of collaboration within them. And I think that's beautiful. Is that okay for you, Misha?
Yeah.
Is that a
Thank
good
you.
insight? Enough?
Yeah.
But you can
More
also
than
follow
enough. Thank
Co-Live,
you.
our association, for all the insights about co-living. We have events every month. They're free to attend. It gives you a really good global insight. And, you can listen to our podcast while I ramble on and on about co-living. So, yeah.
Great to know for everyone for us, but also for people who are watching this event. I'm also very happy because I'm becoming a member of the larger family, since we are set up recently collaborative space with the makerspace and the co-working part and something. So I think that will be great opportunity, but first to work on the local level, more networking, more opportunity, more offer join towards community that are willing to come in Montenegro, but not just people who are coming from outside, but also for people who want to create good career and prosperity to themselves from our region. So I extremely appreciate for your time. I know that all of you is so busy, and I hope so that we are tickling a little bit the people imagination about whole concept and how they contribute in so many different way in interfering the life of the ordinary people. So once again, thank you very much, and I hope so we will cooperate in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.